Good morning. Happy Saturday to you. Another announcement and then another reminder. First of all, this ends the full week of these video devotions. Next week I'm going to do 4, and then the week after that I'm going to do 2. So we're getting back together a bit more frequently now, and while I've enjoyed speaking to you each day in these particular ways, we're going to start winding it down in the next couple of weeks. Remember that tomorrow I'll be talking about love. We looked at love yesterday from 1 Corinthians 13. We'll look at love tomorrow from Romans chapter 12. And there's a really interesting book by C.S. Lewis called The Four Loves, in which he deals with affection, friendship, eros, or sexual love, and charity, or agape, the kind of love that God has for us. He reminds in this book, in the last chapter, that agape love is the love that brings all the rest of them together and keeps them from becoming demons in our lives. But that doesn't negate the danger of love. He talks about Augustine and the pain that comes, actually, when we love something. This is what comes, he says, of giving one's heart to anything but God. All human beings pass away. Do not let your happiness depend on something you may lose. If love is to be a blessing and not a misery, it must be only for the beloved, who will never pass away. That's Augustine. C.S. Lewis said, of course, this is excellent sense. Don't put your goods in a leaky vessel. Don't spend too much on a house you may be turned out of. And there's no man alive who responds more naturally than I to such canny maxims. I'm a safety-first creature. Of all arguments against love, none makes so strong an appeal to my nature as be careful, this might lead you to suffering. However, C.S. Lewis goes on, we follow the one who wept over Jerusalem and over the grave of Lazarus. To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything, and your heart will certainly be wrung and possibly broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give your heart to no one, not even to an animal. Wrap it carefully around with hobbies and little luxuries. Avoid all entanglements. Lock it up safe in the casket or coffin of your selfishness. But in that casket, safe, dark, motionless, airless, it will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable, impenetrable, irredeemable. The only place outside heaven where you can be perfectly safe from all the dangers and perturbations of love is hell. Yikes. We shall draw nearer to God not by trying to avoid the sufferings inherent in love, but by accepting them and offering them to Him, throwing away our defensive armor. If our hearts need to be broken, and if He chooses this as the way in which they should break, then so be it. You know, it's an important word about love. Love is not simple. Love may cause grief. In fact, I learned in Grief Share that grief is the price you pay for love. We follow the one who was associated with grief, a man of sorrows. He knows what it is to have a broken heart, and so do many of us. But it's worth it to love as God loves and to understand the immensity of His care for us. See you tomorrow.